Hey guys, Dr. Krautzak here, and today I'm going to do a video on quick tips for better sleep and proper supplementation. And the reason I want to do this video is because I see so many people who have sleep issues who come into the clinic. Some people have pain, some people just have trouble falling to sleep, and I see people turn to medications such as Ambien or some of these other potent sleep drugs, trazodone, and I see people take a lot of over-the-counter supplements such as melatonin and a few other things. But at the end of the day, you can supplement, you can take medications, but we got to get to the cause of the problem. So once again, we got to address the lifestyle factors, and we got to address proper supplementation when needed to give your body a better relaxed state and put you in a better position to sleep naturally. Because if you get addicted or reliant on these medications, right, you're just going to do that forever, and you're never going to get that true deep sleep that allows your body to heal. So first things first, the importance of sleep. Most of us know the basics, right? This is where most of the healing happens. So sleep is absolutely essential for healing, recovery, and repair. It's essential for hormone production. So most of your testosterone, your melatonin, and your human growth hormone are all produced at night. So testosterone specifically is produced in deep sleep in those middle hours of the night. So if you're not getting a restful sleep, it's not only going to affect your energy levels, it's going to affect your drive, your willpower, it's going to affect everything that's going to allow you to function better and perform better throughout the day. Melatonin is one of the main hormones that helps you stay asleep, but it also acts as a prohormone, and it's a potent antioxidant. Absolutely essential for healing, and it really promotes that healing potential at night while you're trying to sleep. Human growth hormone is going to help with healing, repair. It's going to help with connective tissue healing. So really important hormones that not only promote energy, vitality, willpower, weight loss. It's absolutely essential that we keep this primed up. Memory, all your memories, your long-term memory, a lot of that's created at night through the healing process, through sleep. And then immunity, and then just general growth and repair. So if we're not sleeping properly, all these areas can suffer. And so when we talk about the typical approach, like I mentioned, medications, supplements, right? A lot of this stuff doesn't address the root cause of the problem, and it's going to prevent us from functioning at our best. And so one of the biggest pitfalls I see is a lot of people go to melatonin. And melatonin, I don't believe, is the best first start as a supplement for sleep. And there's a few reasons. For most people, and I work with a lot of people under the age of 45, most people under the age of 45 should not be taking melatonin. And I believe this because your body produces melatonin. So if we keep supplementing melatonin, it's going to affect your body's natural cycles. It's basically not going to get to the cause of the problem, and ultimately it can create more problems down the road. And so I'll talk more about that later. But as far as Ambien, trazodone, I think most people know these things have side effects. They can be potentially dangerous for some people, especially when mixed with alcohol or combine it with an automobile or anything like that. It can be potentially dangerous, right? Especially if you have an emergency in the night and you have to get up, right? You might sleep right through that because some of these drugs are very potent. So first things first, we got to address lifestyle factors. So lifestyle factors, right? The essentials, you have to exercise. And I know some people, they're like, I'm in pain, I'm not in a place to exercise right now. And I'm talking about that from a chiropractic perspective. I'm a chiropractor, I own a chiropractic clinic. So a lot of people come in with pain, and pain is the reason they can't sleep, right? So if you're in pain, right, go see the chiropractor, work with a physical therapist, right? Do the things that you have to do physically to get better. But at the end of the day, we have to address that. And the biggest thing I see, I've had many people say, oh, when I exercise, it actually keeps me up at night. But usually when we analyze this, right, people are doing like a light cardio or they're doing plyometrics. When we talk about sleep, you have to exercise intensively. You have to exercise at a high intensity. You have to push heavy weight. You got to run fast, do sprints, right? And this is going to look different for everybody, right? Someone who's 65 might do a high intensity exercise running in place. They might use weights or machines at the gym, but just getting that heavy push, getting that stimulus in your muscles, your growth hormone, is really going to help promote better sleep at night. And it's going to allow you to relax. It's going to kill that extra energy and tension in your muscles. And so it's absolutely essential. Quality nutrition. So I think most people are aware, caffeine, alcohol, there's certain things that will absolutely prevent you from sleeping well at night. Caffeine will keep you irritated and awake and alert. Alcohol will just prevent you from falling to sleep just because of the sugar and the alcohol and how it works in the body. But other than that, I see a lot of people eating a lot of sugar and generally a lot of inflammatory foods, right? So everyone knows we shouldn't eat processed foods, but the reality is the processed oils in those foods, the high levels of sugar, are not only going to create spikes and troughs in the blood sugar and insulin, it's going to affect our body's healing and inflammation. If your body is inflamed and irritated at night, right? And you might not even feel pain, but it's this subconscious level of irritation and inflammation in your body. It's going to prevent you from falling asleep into a deep sleep to where you actually get to that healing state. So it's absolutely important. We'll go through that in more detail in future videos. But things like omega-3s, B12, wild-caught salmon, walnuts, eating healthy fats, avocados, olives, all these things are very important. Getting rid of the canola oil and all the processed oils. And I'll go through this in more detail in a later video, but definitely be aware of that. Finally, the fight or flight state, right? So if you're stressed, you're angry when you go to bed, it's gonna be hard to go to bed. And we all know this inherently, but basically what happens if your body's in fight or flight mode, you're secreting cortisol and adrenaline and all these hormones that get you amped up, right? Your body is not gonna go to sleep. In this position, you're gonna be better off getting up, going to the gym, exercising, right, burning through those hormones, right, and then trying to go to sleep. If you're just sitting in bed, tossing and turning, it's not gonna help you. You're at that point, you're better off getting up, doing some push-ups, pushing yourself really hard, and helping your body get out of that state. Obviously, you wanna keep a healthy mental mindset as well and prevent that. And then finally, from a pain perspective, which I mentioned earlier, from a chiropractic perspective, we've helped a lot of people with sleep, with stress, just by giving them chiropractic adjustments, removing pressure from their spine and nerve system, getting them out of pain naturally, right? So they're not reliant on these drugs. I've had hundreds of patients come off trazodone because we get them out of pain, we get their body functioning better, right? We get their body in a healing state where their body is able to function and heal as God and nature intended. And that's really the key. And finally, as far as supplementation, so everyone always asks, what supplements should I take for sleep? And I always say we gotta focus on the essentials first. So once again, we wanna focus on diet and lifestyle, exercise. Those are the true essentials. When we talk about nutrition, there's certain things that we need in the body. It's kind of like the chain on the bicycle, right? It's not the bells and whistles. So I've seen a lot of people take teas and herbs, and I'll talk about that as well. But essentially, passion flower, chamomile, valerian root, and I have a lot of those written down here. All of those are great, but they're more therapeutics. They're more extras. They're more icing on the cake. They're not the cake itself, right? And so when we talk about essentials, number one thing I typically have people try is magnesium. And I think this is a popular one. I think a lot of people have heard this before, but we wanna make sure we're taking the right forms of magnesium, and we wanna make sure we're taking it appropriately. So magnesium, number one, the reason it's so important is it actually supports the pineal gland, and it supports the production of melatonin. So it's actually a cofactor. And many people are deficient in magnesium. So what we wanna do, we don't wanna think of magnesium as a treatment. We wanna think of it as we're replacing what needs to be there for the fire to burn, right? And so magnesium here, you wanna take roughly 300 milligrams. Start with that, you can slowly increase. I prefer magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate for the purpose of sleep. And these two forms of magnesium are highly bioavailable. Magnesium glycinate is basically attached to glycine, very easy to digest, easy on the stomach. I've had people do oxide or citrate, and it gives them tummy issues. And so ultimately, those are okay forms, but we want to do what's best, and we want to do what's easiest and most bioavailable to our body. So magnesium glycinate and magnesium threonate specifically is more available through the blood-brain barrier. It's going to help with neurological issues. It's going to help with sleep as well. And I'll put more research in the link in the video as well about that if you want to read more. So absolutely essential, build up slowly. If you feel like you're getting loose bowels, basically things start moving, right? You want to kind of taper it off, but I recommend doing it in dosages of 300 milligrams and then spreading that throughout the day. So you can start one at night and then do one in the morning, one at night, and then one in the morning, one at lunch, one at night, and slowly build up to figure out your tolerance level. Any extra your body's gonna essentially get rid of, so don't be too worried about this one, but move up slowly with it. Start slow and build up slowly. If you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to us. Number two, so as far as melatonin production, we wanna produce melatonin naturally. The precursors for that include 5-HTP. So this is essentially a precursor to serotonin, melatonin, and they all help basically produce melatonin. So if you're supplementing melatonin, really what we're doing, we're taking a step back and supplementing the precursors. So the 5-HTP, and then B12 is a cofactor in that that helps with production of melatonin. And essentially, this is gonna help build your melatonin levels naturally and help reset that circadian rhythm so you're not messing it up with supplemental melatonin. The biggest thing I see with supplemental melatonin that people make the mistake, they'll do it sporadically. If you're going to supplement melatonin, you want to do it ideally the same time every night. You want to build consistency, right? So you take it at 7 o'clock, you go to bed at 10, and then you do that every time. 7 o'clock, go to bed at 10. And that's one trick I really appreciated, is that if you focus more on your bedtime when you go to bed rather than when you wake up, and be consistent with that, I believe that over time that's going to promote better sleep. It's going to create consistency. Doesn't matter if you get up at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. If you can get to bed at the same time every night and build that consistency, that's going to help you tremendously as far as lifestyle. B6 is important. Works with B12 synergistically. It's also a precursor to serotonin production. Next, in my opinion, most importantly, as far as a supplement that many people haven't heard of, this is GPC, so glycerylphosphorylcholine, and this has choline in it, which is a precursor to the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. So the reason acetylcholine is so important, it's basically a neurotransmitter that helps your nerve system relax. And really what it does, it almost creates a sensory barrier to things in the environment, right? So if the wind's blowing, there's a dog barking outside, there's a train going by, all those little disturbances through the night, it almost calms that down. It's gonna allow you to have a restful sleep. It's gonna allow you to sleep through the night without those disturbances. And so often I see people, especially pregnant ladies, people as they get older, they're not getting enough choline in their diet. And there's a few ways to get choline. You can get it from different lecithins, you can get it from eggs, right? So there's many sources of that, but GPC or alpha GPC as a supplement I found to be very effective, not only for sleep, but for other aspects of brain health and memory as well. I think it has also been shown to help improve growth hormone as well. So really great supplement. And basically, for all of you who are light sleepers or feel like you wake up easily for the night, this is a great essential to address that might give you a lot of benefit. And finally, the extras I mentioned, lemon balm, passion flower, chamomile, valerian, all those things are great. I'm a huge fan of passion flower and chamomile. I love those teas. They're great at reducing the conversion of testosterone to estrogen. They help keep your testosterone levels up. They help keep your hormones up. They're not essentials, but they're great herbs to incorporate in your diet. Passion flower specifically will help sedate the nerve system naturally, and basically allow you to relax and sleep in a non-drowsy way. And so that's pretty much the overview there. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link below to our sleep protocol. So if you're looking for dietary tips and caveats, you want to see this in more detail, you want to go through the specific supplements that I recommend, or if you have any questions at all, feel free to comment below. Reach out to us at our email, info@ecfchiro.com, or give us a call. We'd be happy to work with you, happy to help you get to the next level. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.